Hello, I'm Sabine,
And I'm Savani.
and we are the co-founders of Hidden Compass. Welcome back to Behind the Byline, where we introduce you to the talented storytellers from each issue of our magazine. Today, author Craig K. Collins is joining us. Thank you for hopping on the call with us, Craig.
Hey, glad to be here.
Your story, The Curse of Timur, appears in our Chasing Demons department. At the heart of this story is a plethora of brutal conquerors tied together by history and legend. Craig ventured into a beautiful and complicated city in modern-day Uzbekistan to explore an ancient curse. And it turned out to be a great story.
And
Well,
we're excited to talk to you about it, Craig. And we don't hear a lot of stories about Samarkand and Uzbekistan, but they are places with such rich histories. And you happen to be a bit of a history buff, so can you give us a taste of what makes their past so intriguing?
well, Samarkand really is a magical place. It's located in the heart of Transoxiana. It's a fertile region in Central Asia that sits between two great rivers, the Amu Darya and the Sir Darya. They're kind of the Tigris and Euphrates of Central Asia and one of the cradles of civilization. There's been civilization and agriculture there for over 10,000 years. And as far as history, Alexander the Great conquered Samarkand in 329 BCE. Genghis Khan sacked Samarkand in 1229. Marco Polo passed just south of Samarkand in 1280. But Samarkand really flourished under Timur the Conqueror in the 1300s and 1400s. And it became one of the wealthiest cities in the world. Timur made it his capital, and he established one of the largest land empires in history. It stretched from Western China all the way to the Mediterranean. And he was every bit as ruthless as his predecessor, Genghis Khan. And thanks to its location, at the heart of the Silk Road, it was really a wealthy place. But fortunately for Samarkand, Timur was as much of a builder as he was a destroyer. And some of the buildings in Samarkand are just truly breathtaking. I've been to many cathedrals in Europe, and the buildings in Samarkand, the madrasas, the mosques, the mausoleums, are every bit as spectacular, maybe even more so than anything in Europe. The Gur-e-Amir, Timur's mausoleum, is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and it's a masterpiece of Timurid architecture. And in fact, one of Timur's great-grandsons was Babur, and he went south and conquered northern India and established the Mughal Empire. And one of his great-grandsons was Shah Jahan, who built a mosque called the Taj Mahal. And the Taj Mahal was modeled after the Gur-e-Amir in Samarkand. So, it's just and also finally, I'd say it's a great time to go to Uzbekistan. For much of the 1900s, Uzbekistan was under the yoke of the Soviet Union. It was closed to the world. It achieved independence in 1991, but they kind of had a dictatorial president for about 25 years. But in 2016, they got a new president. He's been very liberal. He's democratized Samarkand. He's opened it up to international trade, international tourism, made great strides with human rights. And it's just become a really fascinating place to visit. I found it, clean, modern, and friendly, with just an amazing story to tell.
Fascinating indeed. Some people may think of history as being boring, but you tell historical stories that are anything but. For those who've read the story, they've noticed that, even those who've listened to your previous answer. What draws you to those stories, and why do you think they matter?
Well, I come from a large Irish family where everyone has the gift of gab, and we love nothing more than sitting around telling raucous, interesting stories, so there's that. But I've also believed that history is filled with amazing stories, and many of the true stories, are deeper and richer than anything you can find in fiction. So I've always been attracted to that. And as far as, why does it matter? I think it matters a great deal. One of the things that really comes through, I think, in the Timur story that I really delved into is how the Soviets had a century-long effort to change the millennial-old cultures of Central Asia and to really try to westernize those cultures from the outside. And ultimately, those efforts just failed abysmally. And I think that, in writing this piece, I just kept thinking that, maybe had our political leaders, our military leaders had read this important part of Soviet and Central Asian history, we may have avoided the folly of perhaps stumbling into Afghanistan and Iraq. So, these are important stories.
They're definitely important stories, and I love historical stories. They absolutely are fascinating. This is one of those stories. So for those of you watching, if you haven't read it yet, go check it out. It's an incredible story. Very interesting, lots of really rich history, as Craig has given us a little glimpse of in this conversation. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with how Hidden Compass works, with every story we publish, we also launch a patronage campaign. It's a chance for you as readers to amplify the paycheck that our writers get. At the end of the campaign, we split the proceeds 50-50 with the writers on top of what they get paid for their article. It's a chance also for you to participate in the publishing process. We look at it as a partnership between us, our writers, and you, the audience. And so this is a chance to reflect that. So go read the story, contribute to the campaign. Thank you to those of you who've already done so. And Craig, for those who have contributed to your campaign already, is there anything that you would like to say?
First, I would like to say heartfelt let me say it again. First, I'd like to say a heartfelt thank you. And I really believe that what you're doing at Hidden Compass is really valuable. So much of the internet when it comes to travel has kind of devolved into listicles and Instagram posts and 30-second TikTok videos, which is, fine on a certain level, but you can't really get to the essence of a place and its people with just quick hits on social media. And you certainly can't tell the, kind of the true story of Timur this way. So I think that, Hidden Compass has really staked out a valuable piece of territory on the internet for people who want to go deeper and to enjoy longer, richer stories about all the unique people and the unique places in this world.
Thank you so
Thank you
much.
for saying that. Yeah, we really appreciate it. And I'll also echo your thanks to those who read and contribute to Hidden Compass. We couldn't do it without you. And we also couldn't do it without our writers like you, Craig. So Craig, great job with this piece, incredible research. Thank you for that. And thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.